On tonight's episode of the DFS Deli, we welcome you into the secret menu, the contrarian show, the plays that you need to sprinkle in your lineups to get you to the top of those tournament charts. We're going to break it all down tonight here on a late night Saturday night episode of the DFS Deli. Let's get it cracking. Hey, welcome into the DFS Deli. You know me, I'm the proprietor of this delicatessen, Sully Ali Shaheed, and I am joined tonight by my Saturday night crew, Chill, Baker, to discuss the contrarian plays, the low-owned plays to get you to the top of your tournament charts. But of course, as customary, Chill, how you doing, man? How's it going?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. Getting a look here. We got football tomorrow. Taking a look here at some ownership. It's kind of an interesting week for ownership. I think it's really spread out. We got a lot of close, some close totals here. So I think some of these numbers may come in a little bit different, when the cards flip. But we'll take a look here, and I think there's some excellent low-owned plays that we can offer.
Absolutely. Baker, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
You are a liar, Sully. Like, you are just a flat out liar.
Concerning?
You said it's a late night Saturday. It's like the middle of the evening. It's early evening.
Yeah, but by the time I upload this and people get to actually listen, it'll be a late night Saturday, early Sunday morning. So I'm still accurate.
Fake news. Fake news, sir.
Calling me out. I could record this on Thursday and pretend it's Saturday. We could have just did the both shows back to back. Like, all right, we're done with the early look. Let's take our final look. Let's do the contrarian one and call it a day. And I could just schedule the upload for Sunday morning and then boom, done. I could have done that.
I'm just saying, you are a liar to the people. And if you would have done that, I would have called you out on Wednesday when we did the first show and told you you're still being a liar to the people. I like to bring the facts to the people.
I would have just muted when you said that out, and then it would have been like just blank airspace, and then it wouldn't have been a problem. So don't worry, I have the technology to do so.
I hate you. Just so you know.
Should. But yes, we're about to get into the weeds of the DFS slate and some injury news. Looks like Brock Purdy is going to clear his concussion protocol, so all the words about Sam Darnold that we mentioned on Wednesday out the window. So about that. So
chalky
no more
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, no more chalky value quarterback Sam Darnold, unfortunately. But that's part of the game. It's part of the gig. But yeah, let's just go ahead and, as we do customary, position by position, and kind of sprinkle in our favorite plays at the QB position. And like Chill mentioned, it seems a little spread out this week. So I don't think any one quarterback is going to garner so much ownership to the point where you consider fading them, or it could be a must play. But looks like as we sit here on a Saturday night, looks like it's going to be just kind of what we mentioned on Wednesday with Lamar and Jalen Hurts for the most part, kind of clearing their way through the pack in ownership. But again, if you take it for what it's worth, yes, they are in good matchups, but I think there is a path to get away from these guys. So Chill, I'll start with you. Are you playing anybody else outside of, let's say, Lamar or Hurts or Mahomes to a lesser extent, like some of the big guys up top?
Yeah, I mean the kind of quarterbacks I'm intrigued in terms of ownership here. I mentioned them on Wednesday. C.J. Stroud is projected to come here at some low ownership going up against the Panthers. The Panthers is a defense we've been targeting all week or all season, I should say. And then also, I think I can go with this narrative. This is technically a revenge game for him, right?
Yeah, it's like I mentioned. He wants to stick it to the Panthers for not drafting him. So if you want to follow that narrative, I'm with it. I'm with it.
And I do like a lot of the Texans pieces. So even if you're not playing Stroud, I think some of those pieces do make a lot of sense. But I do like Stroud this week. Another quarterback I do like this week, kind of coming off the mini bye, is Trevor Lawrence. Going up against this Pittsburgh defense. It seems like the Jaguars' offense is kind of clicking here. and I do really like Trevor Lawrence in this spot. He's a really good quarterback to be at this low of ownership. And even on the bad, I don't know if it was ankle or calf, like he still had a decent rushing floor, which was kind of surprising as well. So I think that's another good way to kind of go. Um, and then I think the last guy I do have to mention here, um, it's going to be Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew question mark? You got to show your work for this one. I don't
It's
get the Gardner
Gardner
Minshew.
Minshew. There's no work to be shown. It's Gardner freaking Minshew.
This game's going to be very high in pace. There's going to be a lot of plays in this game out of both teams. The Indianapolis defense is not good. I don't think I was thinking about Derek Carr, but I don't think I could play Derek Carr. But you could definitely play Minshew, one of the Colts, and run it back with one of the Saints guys, whether that's Kamara or Olave. Even if you want to go Michael Thomas, things like that. But I think Gardner Minshew is actually here in a pretty good spot at home and in a game that there's going to be a lot of plays run in this game. So, he proved last week that he could do it against this, legendary Browns defense. So, his face.
He's not wrong. You're not wrong. So I get it.
So I do like Minshew here, but those are probably the three quarterbacks I'm kind of looking at. If you're not playing one of the quote unquote big boys up top. So if I have to pick one of the guys up top, I'm probably leaning Hurts.
So you would take the Hurt business or in a vacuum over Lamar if you had to choose one or the other?
I do, only because I think Washington is more likely to fight back than the Cardinals, give or take.
That's fair. Baker, do you agree with some of Chill's takes?
Well, I'm always going to agree with Gardner Minshew. Always. Never going to disagree with anybody who ever brings up Gardner freaking Minshew.
I wasn't sure if I was stealing them away. I'm like, I think I kind of have to mention them here. This is the first week I like them, so I kind of have to
absolutely. Chill, you have my permission to mention Gardner Minshew whenever you want. I am perfectly fine with that.
Cool.
He should run for freaking president. I would vote for him. Just saying. I would vote for Gardner Minshew.
Honestly, he can't be no worse.
Yeah, not getting all political. How much worse could it really get?
How much worse could it get?
Back on track, Baker.
Sorry. I like to get off the rails.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
But I honestly don't disagree with much that Chill said. And this feels weird because I said the same thing on Wednesday. I don't like to agree with him or you because I hate you both. But Gardner Minshew, fantastic play because this Colts team just plays fast. They force their other teams to play fast. Their defense still sucks, and they're gonna do what they want to do. Like, I don't understand the Colts. They're an enigma because they can't block, but somehow they just impose their will on you. I don't know how that works because Zach Moss, even though we're not on running back, Zach Moss had these great games versus teams you can't run on. You're not supposed to be able to do anything versus the Browns. Well, they do what the hell they want to versus the Browns. The Saints are a solid defense. And somehow there's still going to be a bunch of points in this game. Don't freaking understand it.
Maybe Zach Moss is just really good at football.
Can't argue with the numbers.
Maybe he's just good.
Numbers lie, okay?
No, Baker. You know the rules. People lie. Numbers don't.
It's the other way in my brain. Numbers lie. People don't.
Didn't you just call me a liar at the beginning of the show?
Yes.
So what?
You're not a people, okay? You're a fucking cyborg. You're an alien. You're something else.
I'm fine with that.
He's a cyborg that had 2 human children.
Which they are adorable human children. They are fucking adorable.
Hey, yo, speak of which, I got some narrative myself. If the DFS gods don't bless me tomorrow, I don't know what to do. Because tomorrow is my oldest daughter's birthday. So if I don't get some birthday narrative, right, I don't think I can play DFS anymore. I think I'll be salty if I don't get the birthday narrative. So happy 7th birthday to my beautiful daughter, Aaliyah. I love you, and I hope you have the best day of all time. So just had to get that out there.
Does anybody in the NFL have a name close to Aaliyah? Like that should be the player that you just lock in tomorrow. Just gonna throw it out there.
We have my cousin. We got the last name.
In that case, you just need to be playing your cousin because he's going to carry your birthday narrative through.
I'm fine with that. Ali Shaheed's birthday, get Rashid Shaheed to score. I'm just saying, just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. I'm okay with that.
All right, so back to football, or fake football at that.
That is football. It's football related. What do you mean?
Oh
That's our family we're talking about. You want to mention all these Saints? Chill. You want to talk about running it back with Michael Thomas, running it back with Chris Olave, running it back with Alvin Kamara? You dare disrespect my cuz? You dare disrespect Weapon X, the American sniper, Taysom Hill? Like, what do you mean? What does this mean?
I would have addressed those guys in the wide receiver and tight end section accordingly.
Don't you dare play Taysom Hill. That sounds disgusting.
All right, fine. I'll let it go. Baker, continue.
I mean, when you talk about the high price guys, I mean, Jalen Hurts Jalen Hurts and Lamar in the matchups they're going to garnish ownership for reasons. Whether or not they get there, so on and so forth. But this Washington secondary specifically, they've been giving it up to everybody, and this Arizona defense as a whole has been giving it up to everybody. And we just saw what Lamar did versus a decent to good Lions defense. So I think they garner ownership for a reason. If I'm not going there, so Sam Darnold was about to be chalk just because he's 43. Brock Purdy isn't. And to the narrative of, it's the offense. Well, it's still the same fucking offense. So why are we not playing Brock Purdy?
Okay, here's my knock on Brock Purdy, and it's not much of a knock, but the last 2 weeks he's looked human.
Yes.
And I don't think and without Debo, like, he's missing one of his, main weapons. I mean, he's still got Ayuk, he's still got CMC, he's still got George Kittle. But I think it's the price puts him alongside some of these other pay down options. I mean, the Sam Darnold thing was a way, way pay down option. And then we wanted to find out if it was the system. With Brock Purdy, we kind of know the ceiling. And then he has to be, like, not saying you're not stacking anyway, but you have to tether him to either CMC, Kittle, or Ayuk. There's no other places. So, I mean, yes, it makes it easier to stack, but I think if people were going to play Purdy, they would probably take the cheapest option. And then Kittle automatically becomes like somebody you want to play because he's the cheapest out of all of them. Like, Ayuk is priced up now. Ayuk is at a price where you got to make a choice. I mean, he ain't 6K no more. You know what I'm saying?
You're making business decisions with Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, you're making a business decision. So, yes, I like the play from an ownership perspective. I just think the public is off it because of his recent performances. So, does he have 303 in him? Does he?
I think he does. I think he does. Because I just think you're betting on the game environment.
Is Trent Williams playing tomorrow? That's kind of what I would hinge that on.
When we move to running backs, I'll find that news for you and let you know.
Because, like, Cincinnati's pass rush has been really good as of late. So if he's playing, I could probably get behind 303. If he's not, then I would bet the under.
That's fair. I mean, I kind of want to piggyback off that, Baker, because I actually like the quarterback on the opposite side.
That's what I was about to say next.
Yeah, if I'm going to play a quarterback, I mean, it might as well be one of the arguably top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. He hasn't proved it this season, but A, coming off the bye, so he can heal up a little bit, and B, these last 2 weeks, San Francisco has been, smacked. So, again, if Kirk Cousins can go for over 350, and you mean to tell me that Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd ain't better than Jordan Addison, KJ Osborne, and like, nah, fam. I'm gonna just take the narrative that Joe Burrow is good at football, and Lord knows they can't run the ball worth a damn because Joe Mixon is washed. So if this is going to be a back and forth environment, I think Joe Burrow doesn't have the ownership numbers that he should have. So that's probably my favorite. That's probably my favorite contrarian play at the quarterback position.
My only knock on Joe Burrow is he's had one good game all season. That last game he played against Seattle, he was terrible.
The whole game was terrible.
That game.
Well, I mean, listen, Seattle should have won that game. Shame on Seattle for not winning that game. But Joe Burrow was ass. He's had one good game. So that would be my only pushback on Burrow. Obviously, you're right. I mean, his price, he's really cheap for the talent, obviously. And if you do want to beat the 49ers, it's definitely through the air and not the ground. So I get it. I get it makes a ton of sense. I won't argue against it, that's for sure. But just a little pushback.
Yeah, like I said, if I get off Lamar or Hurts or anybody, it's probably going to go right back. Just go to Joe Burrow, and I'll be happy about it.
Fair. Totally
So,
fair.
I mean, the last quarterback that I will talk about. So I'm not sure, but we either get good Sam Howell or bad Sam Howell. And the last time we saw him versus Philly team, it was good Sam Howell. We've noticed that obviously the way that you're going to compete with Philly is through the air, because you're not doing it on the ground, period. And Washington can't really run the ball to begin with. I understand that they just added, Bird from the Titans this week, but I don't know if he's going to come in and make an immediate impact in the secondary, so on and so forth. What's going to get Jalen Hurts there, if he gets there, is Washington pushing back. And if it's coming through the air, which means that's going to lead to a big day from Sam Howell. So for that reason and that reason only, I would kind of might sprinkle some Sam Howell. He sparks my brain.
That's the only thing that's really bothering me about these top flight quarterbacks is that are we going to get the pushback that we need for these top scores? So like if Philly makes the adjustments that they, watch the film from the first Washington game, maybe it's not a shootout like the first one was. If Arizona, is Arizona supposed to provide some pushback? I don't see it. Like, can the Ravens really walk with this game and not have to put up, tournament winning scores? I can see it. That's why I kind of like the environment of San Francisco and the Bengals, because the Bengals can't lose. I mean, they cannot suffer another loss and still stay dead last in this division. Same with San Francisco. These guys are going to be playing their hearts out because Seattle's breathing down their throat right now. So you can't afford to lose 3 straight. That's when all the questions come in. Like, is this team as good as advertised? Are they really a Super Bowl contender? Blah, 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 blah. So, again, these top flight quarterbacks are in washed matchups. Like, Patrick Mahomes has to play Denver. Like, do we get the pushback from these spreads that are more than 8 points? So I'm not saying don't play Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying don't play Lamar. I'm not saying don't play Patrick Mahomes. I'm just saying their opponents might want to pull the foot off the gas pedal at some point. Like,
I think the way you just got to look at it is if it does get out of hand, like chances are that the quarterback did get there. I mean, last week when they took Lamar out, he was over 40, I think, give or take. So that's kind of just the way to look at it.
But it's like, did they get there or did the team get there? Because we'll get to it when we hit the running backs. I feel like these guys have spots where the actual, the running backs could be the key to their team scoring points, not necessarily the quarterback and their wide receiver weapons. So
I could believe it for Mahomes and Lamar. I don't know if I buy it for Philadelphia. And I will say Philadelphia does tend to run up the score.
If they can.
Them boys are usually in there. They're kind of like the Dolphins, where they're like, yeah, well, we don't care if we're up by 30.
That's fair. That's fair. We ready to switch to running back?
I think so.
This is my favorite contrarian position, by the way. I think you can get uber weird when it comes to running backs. Not weird in the fact that they're bad plays, but weird to the point where I'm not understanding why half these players aren't as played. I get that Breece Hall is cheap and in a nut matchup. I get the Tony Pollard stuff. I get Pacheco, especially if there's going to be weather involved and they are forced to run more. I get that. But there's some really good running backs that aren't getting any type of ownership. So, Baker, I'll start with you. Let's see if you can steal some of my thunder, because I'm pretty sure you guys are probably on most of the plays that I'll be on. But I kind of want y'all to break it down a little bit for me. So, Baker, low-owned running backs, who you teeing up this week?
Well, one, like I said it Wednesday, I'm sticking to it today. I'm so much on Jonathan Taylor. If I'm any more on him, I might come out of his mouth.
That's but he's owned, though. And if Zach Moss sits because of his heel injury, he's about to be uber chalk.
He's owned, but is he owned enough?
That again, that's contingent on the Zach Moss news. If Zach Moss sits, he is the chalk. He will rival Breece Hall.
I'm looking at 7 running backs with ownership above or near him. I don't think he's the 7th best running back on this slate easily. Especially when you take the price into consideration. No.
I
So
get it.
and that's I understand that he's owned, but I bring him up just to put the emphasis on he should be owned more.
Okay, understood.
Now, of these running backs, there's a guy who has 2 stops. Somehow he did it through the air on last Sunday, but he's going to make 2 stops. It's going to be a first down. It's going to be the end zone. We've been targeting running backs versus the Cardinals all year, and somehow we're not playing a 5-5 Gus Edwards.
Because everybody's playing Lamar, and that's what I alluded to earlier. It's like this team could get there, but this is the point where if you don't play Lamar, I still feel you need a piece of the Ravens. And why not the Gus bus? I mean, he handled 14 out of the 18 running back carries last week. You saw him get a little tote, even though he's only had 4 catches throughout the darn year. But if he's going to be handling the majority of the tote against Arizona in a plus game script, we think in a plus game script where they should be ahead in this game, he gets all the goal line carries minus Lamar. Of course, we know Lamar's the running back. We know. But if they take the onus off of Lamar this game and kind of, start feeding Justice Hill and the Gus bus, yeah, at that price with that ownership, yeah, I'm in. That's one of them, Big. I like that. I'm on some Gus. I'm on some Gus tomorrow.
I'm looking at this play makes me mad. This play legitimately makes me mad because this should be the nut matchup for running backs on both sides of the ball because theoretically neither team can stop the run, and no running backs in this game are garnishing ownership right now. And that would be Carolina and Houston. So we know why nobody in Houston's garnishing ownership because we don't know what the fuck to do with these guys. Devin Singletary started to come on, blah, 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 blah. Maybe it's the fact that Dameon Pierce is still catching up to the zone blocking scheme. Maybe Devin Singletary is just better. I have no idea. Nobody's playing either one of those guys. On the other side of this, Miles Sanders is back. And he's 4'9".
Like I said, he's bad. I mean, he's bad at football. I mean, he's a member of the brand, but he might get exiled out here shortly.
But at 4'9", we're to the point where Chuba Hubbard's going to be involved, but that's also indicative of his price.
I mean,
he should get the majority of the carries in this game versus a team that we target running backs for versus.
I can't. What's the last running back to really beat Houston? I think they've been pretty good against.
I think they've been solid this year. That used to be the narrative. I don't think it's the narrative anymore.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
but while I give you 1 second, go ahead, break it down, Chill. Who you got?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of interesting guys here. I think you mentioned this guy on the Wednesday show, but Ken Walker going up against the Browns is coming in. This is home running back. That's 10 when you do want to play running backs. We just watched last week the Browns get gashed on the ground and by the quarterback nonetheless. So I do like Ken Walker here. I think he's going severely overlooked. And then I'm not gonna lie, it's when we head to the bar later, see if we see one sitting down at the end, nice big girl.
Oh no, not another big girl. Oh God.
She's just sitting down at the end of the bar. Baker sends her a shot, lets her know it's his going away party. Baker's gonna try he's gonna try to swoop her up. I really don't know why this gentleman has little to no ownership.
Chill. Can I guess? I guess? Are we trying to pick up the same fat chick tonight? Is it Brother Raheem?
It is Brother Raheem.
Something's wrong
she
with
looking
people.
Sexy.
Yeah, I mean, you got Raheem Mostert going up against this Patriots defense. Miami is coming off of an absolute brutal game against Philadelphia. Again, he's still the number one option in this backfield to the most explosive offense currently in the NFL. Miami is playing at home where they do tend to play a lot better. they got something to prove. They couldn't really run the ball at all against Philadelphia. It was rather embarrassing. They got something to prove here. And I just think it's a really good play. I mean, his price isn't at the best, but I think his price should be higher. But I think Brother Raheem is an excellent play this week.
Home favorite, gets all the goal line work. What are we talking about here? I mean, no one's gonna play the league leader in touchdowns right now. Really, that's a mistake.
It's the same. It's the
load up
same
Brother
way.
Raheem.
Was it Jameson Williams last year for the Lions? Nobody wanted to play him.
Just play him. Just play him. It just makes too much sense. Yeah, you hit on all my guys. I mean, I said it on Wednesday. I'm loading up Ken Walker. I'm gonna find some room for Brother Raheem, and then someone from this Houston backfield is gonna get there. I don't know if it's Singletary or Pierce. Someone's getting there. Carolina is so bad against the run, where it's like, we have these spots where, yes, there's obvious places, but then like the lesser obvious places aren't being played. I mean, you mean to tell me that the Dolphins have the highest implied team total on the damn slate, and y'all ain't gonna play the running back that leads the league in touchdowns because he's expensive? He's less than CMC. Y'all gonna play him because he's CMC. So I don't get it. I don't understand. We're not gonna play any running backs against the run funnel, which is Carolina. I don't get it. I don't understand. So we're gonna do it. Everybody else listening's gonna do it. So more power to us. More power to the Deli. Baker, did you have anybody else on your list?
I'm still looking up running backs versus these guys.
Okay.
For the most part, from looking at the game logs and blah 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 blah, it's looked like most running backs have averaged around 17 points. Besides Zach Moss, he was the one who got there the most. Shut up, Sully. With 20 points,
so good.
With 20 points versus this Houston Texans team, I mean, they're averaging giving up roughly 24 points to the running back position over the course of the season so far this year. So you mean to tell me? So back to my initial point, at these guys' price, for them to get 17 points, for Miles Sanders to get 17 points at 4.9, yeah, it's not, it's not that smash 20, 30-point game that you want, that you're looking for, for tournament winning, but 17 points definitely is not going to bury you. At his ownership, it's not going to kill you. And it's going to allow you to, get in a lot of these heavy hitters, the AJ Browns, the Cooper Kupps, blah, 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 the Christian McCaffreys. And it's definitely going to keep your lineup different. That's my whole point with bringing up. So it has maybe it hasn't been the smash that it's been in the past, but there's still not a great defense versus the run.
That's fair. I just think Carolina sucks. So, which they do. But
and he's potential leverage off of because anybody playing the Houston side's playing Adam Thielen. Like that's going to be the insta run back. So it might differentiate you from all those Adam Thielen lineups.
Oh, speaking of wide receivers, let's go ahead and head over there. And this one is kind of tough for me only because everybody up top is like spicy, right? But for me, this week, what I'll be probably trying to focus on is kind of flipping the build where everybody's going to the mid-tier-ish for running backs. I want to pay up for running backs, which means I have to pay down at wide receiver. So the only guys that I'm really thinking about that are going to be lower owned and do have the ceilings of these higher price players are the secondary receivers of the higher price guys. So I'm looking at you, Jalen Waddle. I'm looking at you, Devonta Smith. I'm looking at you, T. Higgins. You guys are the literal pivots off of A, the higher owned guys, and B, the roster construction that everybody else is going to be going to. So we've seen in multiple years now, the last 2 years at least, that T. Higgins can smash a slate. The Reaper can smash a slate. And then even in the Rams, even with the Rams receivers, there's not enough people playing Puka Nacua. There's not enough people playing Cooper Kupp because of the prices. So again, if everybody's going to be, those top tier guys, I get it, but you can't tell me to sit here and say, let's say 20% own Jamar Chase has a 5 to 6x chance of outproducing T. Higgins at 3% owned. Does it happen more often than it does? Yeah, of course. But this is why we play these lower owned players in tournaments, because of that one shot, that one chance to say T. Higgins did outscore Jamar Chase. The Slim Reaper did outscore A.J. Brown at significantly less ownership. Waddle did outscore Tyreek Hill. Does it happen often? No, it's very rare. But you can't tell me these guys don't have a chance to do so. So that's where I'm going. That's where I'm looking for the week. And yeah, that's my TED talk on low owned wide receivers. I'm just going to these secondary guys, man. That's the game plan. So Chill, where are you looking at?
Yeah, taking a look here at wide receivers, I don't think I think everything you mentioned is totally valid. Couple guys I'm looking at here. You mentioned the Rams guys, but I think CeeDee Lamb's ownership is kind of way too low in my opinion here. Dallas at home is a completely different offense and team. Again, coming off the bye week, so I do like that. I mean, the Rams defense has been like really good in first half of games, but they're a very young team. So I do like CeeDee Lamb this week. I do like me some Michael Pittman Jr. To go with the Gardner Minshew take. Again, I do think there's going to be a lot of points in that game as well. One really puke wide receiver I'm going to throw out there at the Stone Cold Men is Noah Brown. Robert Woods is out for the Texans. Again, don't know if you need to necessarily get there, but uh, again, he's going to be wide receiver 3 on this team. He has performed in the weeks where he's needed to. So again, it's really gross, but Carolina is bad at football. So if you need a dart throw at somebody at the min, I don't think it's the worst that you could take a look at here.
I like the take. I mean, I'm not gonna need to go that low, but
and then one more guy I'll mention is Drake London. The Riddler doesn't throw anywhere else but 3 guys, and he's playing the Titans. The Titans are literally trying to lose football games now. So I do like London this week.
I was so on the fence about Drake London, and then it's like, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like, the price is good. The Colts secondary is ass. They just traded away one of their safeties. I mean, like, yeah, they're rotating 2 quarterbacks tomorrow. Like, yeah, I'm okay with Drake London. I'm fine with that, actually. Fine with that. I can get behind it. Baker takes.
Yes.
Go on. Wide receivers.
I think a lot of the wide receivers, pardon me, are kind of obvious. You want to get different from AJ Brown, play Devonta Smith. You want to get different from Tyreek Hill, play Jalen Waddle. I mean, I can get really nasty. I can get really far into the weeds if you would like me to. Can I interest you in either Juwan Jennings or Ray McCloud?
Jennings. You can interest me in Jennings.
Jennings is who I prefer over Ray. And it has everything to do with the fact that the Bengals somehow, like, a lot of their defensive efforts are focused on trying to take away your number one. And with no Debo, all that attention is about to go to Brandon Ayuk. So I mean, it could become a George Kittle day. It could just make CMC that much better of a play, because both those guys tend to, be better and produce more when Debo is not in the lineup. But with Ayuk out of it, we've seen Juwan Jennings still involved in this offense a decent amount. So obviously he hasn't been like huge with all the other freaking players that they have on this team, but without Debo, if you want to get in the weeds and make a legit, just interesting, contrarian as stack of this game, Juwan Jennings and Ray McCloud are potential interesting ways in that game specifically. I think if you don't play anybody named Tony Pollard or Jake Ferguson, this Rams Cowboys game, you're instantly different, because I don't see
What's up with this Jake Ferguson chalk? Where did this come from?
People heard Chill say Jake the Snake, and they're like, "Ooh, we want to play him. We want to play Jake the Snake." People our age is like, "Oh, I remember Jake the Snake Roberts. I want to play him."
Yeah, the DFS Deli moved the needle for
Yes.
Ferguson chalk.
We are needle movers, okay? We are like Roman Reigns. We are needle movers. God damn it!
That's it, man. That's it. Jake Ferguson chalk. Get the fuck out of here. No, absolutely not.
Like I said on Wednesday, I do still like the unrealized air yards of Chris Olave, and obviously both of the players that Chill mentioned on the Colts side, perfectly fine to me. And lastly, I will mention, I don't think there's enough ownership on Calvin Ridley or Christian Kirk right now. Like, in this passing game, we know where this ball's going for the most part, especially with no Zay Jones for week number 273 in a row.
Hey, what if Calvin Ridley's not good?
He might not be good.
I do have to say, my fat chick in the bar was almost in this category.
Was it going to be Christian Kirk?
No.
Because Calvin Ridley sucks.
No, this would have been the most desperate of fat chicks. I mean, she's still pretty. Like, in her younger days, she was hot. Like, she was hot in her younger days. And then, like, she dropped off. Like, a new friend came into town, and, like, she dropped off pretty hard. But there were glimpses that, her friends thought she could be the 1A in the offense, and then, boy, did the really nice skinny chick put her right back in her place. And she can't do it this week. I don't know when she could do it.
I feel the way you word these, it feels like you write these out.
I don't. These are all on the fly, bro.
It feels like you have this shit written up. Like, bro, how can I just describe these people?
Bro, these are all on the fly.
Who are you referring to? Devonta Smith?
Bingo.
Yes.
Dude, Sully loves him some thick women.
Oh my God.
Why do you think I just got my hair cut? Trying to pull me a thick one.
What, tonight?
I mean, tonight, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. I don't know. The thicker the better, you know what I'm saying?
Something is so wrong with you people.
The thicker the better.
I mean, this is Devonta Smith's, like, literal last chance, right? If it's not this week, when?
Yeah.
Is he gonna get usurped by Julio Jones? Is that what you're saying?
Bruh. Shit, he's getting usurped by Dallas Goedert.
I know. Well,
if Mount St. Julio explodes tomorrow, I quit. I just quit.
Man, if he gets a catch tomorrow, I'll quit. Imagine Julio Jones. Where have we come in life where Julio Jones is like 3K?
And he still might be overpriced.
Right.
It's like if you play Devonta Smith, you get Julio Jones automatically. He's just like a sidebar, a slash next to Devonta Smith. That would be sweet. Buying like you get like players in pairs. I think that'd be awesome. Like I just wish like can you just put Devin Singletary and Dameon Pierce in one guy? I would pay $7K for that.
Easy.
I'm just saying. Like all this split backfield bullshit. Like, nah, man, just give me one player. They occupy one spot and like do like 1.75 their prices together. I would play the shit out of that. I would play Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp at $13K as one player every week.
Bro, they would be more than $13K.
I'm just throwing out a number. I'm just throwing out a number. Just throwing it out. I just want him to occupy one spot. That's all I asked for. That'd be a cool little DFS game, wouldn't it?
I would have fun with that.
Yeah, I think I'd have fun. Just combos. Don't worry about your backfield. We got you. They're all the same guy. But they cost a different amount of money. I'm just saying. DraftKings, FanDuel, if you're listening, make it like a separate game. You're already doing this Rainmakers bullshit. You're already freaking FanDuel still doing super flex and kickers only crap. I mean, like what this a slate where I can combine guys in one player and just have a higher salary. That would be the shit. So you don't have to worry about who scored. It's like, they're fine. They're the same guy. It's fine. It's fine.
Then, of course, you can bind guys. Like, you can bind both Houston running backs, and then all of a sudden Mike Boone scores, and you're like, oh, my God. Darren Owukabale scores. You're like, all right, I quit.
Could you imagine? But that's what make like that would make the slot guys more valuable, right? So like if you combine like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase into like one nice $15,000-$16,000 bundle. I don't know if it would be that expensive, but still. And then like Tyler Boyd tilts your face off. I'm just saying, it'd be fun.
He would tilt the living out of you.
Right.
That would be the Joe Mixon week.
The Joe Mixon week is coming. At some point in time, that week is coming.
He's going to score his 5 touchdowns in one game?
Yeah, absolutely.
It ain't this week.
He's scoring half his fantasy points in 1 week.
All right, so tight end. I digress. I was having a little fun.
Trey McBride. Just play Trey McBride. That's a different play, right? Trey McBride? No?
So this would have been the boldest take, and I don't know if it would have counted, but would I have gotten away with calling Travis Kelce the fat chick at the bar?
He is like not owned.
I got him around 10.
I got him at 9, 10.
This is not Travis Kelce numbers though. We're used to 15 to 20-ish, yeah?
This might convince me to actually play this man.
Like I said, that weather's going to be trash. Not saying it's supposed to be some kind of blizzard, but it's supposed to be a little ugly. So I
don't think Pat Mahomes gives a damn about the weather.
Maybe it favors Travis Kelce. Maybe that actually helps him.
Is Sully's new favorite artist going to be in attendance? That's the question.
I mean, I get it, but like, are we just not? Should you don't have to play Pat Mahomes, but like, should you just play Pacheco and Kelce and walk away?
By the way, Baker, my favorite artist is going to be there, so suck it. I'm sure Doja Cat's going to be there. Ain't she dating a dude from the Broncos? Like an end or something like that? I think she dates a Bronco. So yes, if Doja Cat is in the building, I will play some Broncos.
You do know that I can't name a single Doja Cat song. You can name more Taylor Swift songs than I can Doja Cat.
I can name two technically Taylor Swift songs.
All right, you name more Doja Cat. I can't name a single Doja Cat song. Not even close.
Doja Cat is so good.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
I mean,
I can't even say she's bad. I don't know. I don't know her.
You should get hip. You should get hip. Anywho, we digress again. Tight ends.
I mean, if you're not playing Trey McBride, Jake Ferguson, or Evan Ingram, you're pretty much different. A lot of the elite tight ends are going unowned, apparently. Kelce, Kittle, Andrews. Again, really good guys. I think most of them are in pretty good spots. We mentioned Dallas Goedert. If you want to double stack Hurts with one of the wide receivers of Goddard, it makes you different as well. And then the Atlanta tight ends, again, I'm not going to knock Kyle Pitts. These two will. That's fine. It's valid. And then Jonnu Smith's in the revenge game. So,
Revenge.
I
was wrong. Doja Cat is not dating a Denver Bronco. I apologize. It's dating somebody else. But there is a Bronco that's dating a famous singer, I do believe. So, but sorry, I had to debunk that before I get flamed in the comments. Doja Cat ain't dating no Denver Bronco. Fake news. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, whatever.
But,
I think, are you thinking about Miko Hardman dating some person, whatever?
No, I don't know who Miko Hartman's dating. I didn't know he was a Chief until like today. I forgot he got traded.
Well, only reason I realized he was dating somebody who's like in entertainment is because it blew up on social media. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, him, and whatever person.
Ah, gotcha.
And I had to scroll through comments to realize it was Miko Hardman. So,
all right, fair. Well, Baker, who else you playing at tight end that could be potentially owned?
Dude, you ask me this question every show, and the answer never changes. I don't give a flying fuck about this position.
You should, Baker. You should.
Okay, gun to my
You
head.
gotta submit. You gotta submit a tight end in your lineups. You gotta do it.
Sometimes I'd rather just take the 0 and just move on. Sheesh.
You want to take the old Adam Troutman?
Yeah, like I'll play Irv Smith and just call it a day and pray that I catch a touchdown.
I'm playing Irv Smith tomorrow, by the way.
That sounds disgusting.
I know. If I'm playing Burrow, I got to double stack them. So I mean, yeah. If it's cheap,
I mean, I've been working on a lineup here, and I could play Irv Smith in this lineup, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm just not. I guess my favorite tight end is George Kittle, purely because of his splits without Deebo Samuel in the lineup. But I don't have any conviction on tight end this week. Like if you told me to play David Njoku, I'd be like, sure, why not?
I'm not playing David freaking Njoku. That guy stinks.
Hell, you told me Logan Thomas is about to explode. Sure, what the fuck?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
I mean, hell, there's a point in time in the season where you had Logan Thomas.
I say Logan Chuckman. What were you?
right, Logan Chuckman.
I got ahead of my words. Logan Thomas chalk week.
Right? Could you imagine?
Like if I would have told you before the season started, there's gonna be a week in which Logan Thomas is gonna be, 20% owned. You'd have been like, Baker, get off the show.
Fair. Oh, side note, as we transition to defense, I have to say from a previous conversation I had with my boy Darius, because you guys didn't mention like playing Kenny Pickett again, which I was mentioned on Wednesday, but didn't say anything about it. So anyway, he says that the Steelers game, Steelers-Jags, is going to be the shootout that we need. Okay? And I said, in not so many words, go fuck yourself. That's not going to happen. He said, if this game shoots out and Kenny Pickett is the one taking down tournaments, I don't know if he added the Kenny Pickett part, but this game, for the most part, if it's the one taking down tournaments, he gets to host next week's episode of the DFS Deli.
Well, Darius won. I'm here for it because, like, I mentioned it Wednesday. I didn't harp on it today because Sully so poo-pooed me when I brought up Kenny Pickett. I'm like, I don't feel like hearing that shit again.
Kenny Pickett sucks.
That's perfect. That's perfectly fine. Terrible players have taken down plenty of tournaments. Insert freaking Desmond Ridder. He's terrible. He took down tournaments 2 weeks ago. I don't want to hear it.
You're right. Okay, fine.
I mean, I was kind of on the Kenny Pickett train when the week started, but now I just think I like pieces from the Steelers rather than Kenny Pickett.
Again, more power to y'all. If it hits, I'm happy for you guys. If it doesn't,
he's going to say he told you so.
You got that right.
I told y'all, motherfuckers.
Told y'all we'll be playing shitty players, man. What the are we doing here? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, if we don't have any more tight end takes, we'll slide over to defense real quick. Go ahead, wrap it up with our bold calls, and go ahead and hit set bricks. And before we cover defenses, of course, if you are listening on your favorite podcast device, don't forget to hit that like button. Go ahead and rate us 5 stars on whatever app you're using. Go ahead, do it right now. You're on the phone, just grab it, hit the button. Help us with the algorithm. I appreciate it. And if you haven't, if you want to check out the video version, come on over to youtube.com and you'll see our faces discussing some fantasy football. So defense is the only one that I kind of want to play that's low owned is Minnesota, because Jordan Love is ass. So, I mean, that's my only explanation for it. He kind of sucks. I mean, for some reason, Minnesota doesn't play well in Lambeau, which is weird. They're 3-5-2 in the last matchup. So, I mean, that's kind of awkward. But other than that, I think this offense, especially with, Aaron Jones' hamstring, the dude never gets a full workload. They can't run the damn ball. And we saw Minnesota kind of limit what San Francisco could do last Monday. So I don't think they're a great defense per se, but when it comes to, the amount of dropbacks that we need to kind of either force fumbles, interceptions, kind of get these defensive touchdowns, I think you can do much worse than a $2,500 Minnesota Vikings defense. So that's probably where I'm going to go if I'm going to get weird off the chalk. Thoughts?
I think it's fine.
I love Minnesota's defense.
Absolutely. I mean, any defense. I mean, Atlanta is the stone cold chalk. So I
Yes,
mean, basically,
yes.
if you're not playing the Falcons, which was my favorite defense when the week started, unfortunately, they're
Yeah, I'm
pretty
off
much
it.
different.
I'm done with it. I'm not playing the Falcons defense. Here's why. It's one of the lowest totals on the slate, if not the lowest total. How often is Malik Willis or the other going to actually drop back and pass?
Will Levis?
Will Levis, thank you. If you need like a potential shutout, maybe, but how many sacks are you getting? Are you getting pick sixes? We want guys that are going to drop back. I would rather play a defense in a high-scoring environment, a la the Browns last week. That game was 38-39, and the Browns had 18 fantasy points. They gave up over 30. So it's like, I need y'all to drop back. That game is probably going to be over before any other game gets to halftime.
Bro, right?
Why am I playing the Falcons defense? Why? Makes no sense. It makes sense in a sense that they're affordable and Tennessee sucks, but they're not going to pass. They're not going to drop back. They're just going to run the ball and get off the field. It makes no. No hard fade on the Falcons. Hard fade. Can't do it. Can't win with them. Anywho, sorry, I had to get on my little tangent.
The two defenses that I liked, kind of taking a look here. I mean, I know the Seahawks are maybe the second highest owned defense, but they're really far behind Atlanta. So I think if you want to play the Seahawks, is fine. I think the Browns defense is still reasonably priced for whatever reason. I mean, you mentioned it; they gave up 30 points, but still got there last week. And then if you really want to go towards the high end of defenses, I would try to get up to Philadelphia's.
I'm fine with it. Absolutely. Baker, defense?
Well, I'm surprised that you weren't talking about, like, you weren't touting Kendrick Bourne or Devontae Parker or anything like that, Sully. Like, I'm really surprised.
Kendrick Bourne has ownership. That's why I didn't mention him on this show.
Well, Sully's most hated cornerback in football returns tomorrow, so...
Baker, here's the thing. Do you not remember what I said on Wednesday? Probably not. Here goes.
He did mention the Dolphins defense.
I did.
And he mentioned them winning by 70.
Exactly. So why do I need to mention receivers on a game that the Patriots are absolutely going to get dunked on?
Well, I only mentioned it because of the fact that my favorite defense is the Dolphins defense.
Yeah, they're going to get dunked on. They're going to be absolutely dunked on tomorrow. It's going to be hilarious. I can play some Dolphins defense, pair them up with brother Raheem.
And you're off to the races, literally.
Off to the races, baby. Off to the races.
I mean, this Dolphins defense has been meddling, and I think the return of Jalen Ramsey is just going to improve.
I mean, last week they were down Ramsey and Howard, and they were down like 4 offensive linemen to the Eagles. So like to only lose by 14, small victory.
Very small victory.
Small victory.
That and the fact that, you know, obviously Mac Jones actually came out and balled out last week versus Buffalo. And what you did say on Wednesday is like that was like their like mini Super Bowl. So giant letdown spot incoming for the Patriots potentially. And Bill Belichick getting his 300th win and whatnot, so on and so forth. So like the Dolphins defense is one that I have a bullet on. Not sure if I'm going to be bold enough to lock that defense in, but I feel like the Dolphins and Vikings are going to be the two defenses that I rotate the most, honestly.
I mean, Bill Belichick was so enthused about his 300 win, you know. It was a good team win, and this, you know, I don't even know what we're really asking here. You know, we got the Dolphins coming up on Sunday, and we'll take a look at the film.
I never get tired of your Bill Belichick impersonation. It always puts a smile on my face. You know how to make a brother smile. You know how to make a brother smile, Chill.
It is fantastic. Admittedly, it is fantastic. Well, let's wrap it up with the old bold calls. Let's see some. Let's get the people what they want. Let's get the people, the players that they need to have in their lineups. You know, Chill's fat chick has been smashing this entire season, unlike Ian Harditz's helicopter, because that shit has missed horribly every week. Like I said, we just need to.
Who was it last week?
Last week was the week before Matt Stafford.
I couldn't remember if it was Stafford last week or not. I mean, I could take a look here to see if I can find it.
It was last week. Yeah, Matt Stafford. Yeah, it was Matt Stafford. Horrible fail. Either it was Matt Stafford or Devonta Smith.
Either way.
Smith was on the main slate. I don't know if that matters or not.
Okay, then that was the week before. Yeah, it was Stafford. It's bad. But again, Chill's fat chick's been hitting. But we got to get bold. We got to know. What's the bold take for tomorrow, Baker? Who do people need?
Who do you need? You need Joe. You need Joe Cool. You need Joe Shiesty. You need Joe because he's probably about to drop, I don't know, about 4, 5 of them things.
Ain't no 5.
I said 4 or 5.
He ain't Joe Mixon.
I mean, why have 4 when he can have 5? Just saying.
Hey, Baker, if Joe Burrow does what you think he's gonna do, then you and I gonna be dancing. Okay, so I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I think he throws over 350 of them things. So yardage.
I like that.
Yeah,
it was Stafford last week, by the way.
Okay. I figured horrible fail. It's been bad all year, bro. But that's still the homie. I love Ian Hartness's work. He is hilarious. He is sharp. But like I said, these bold calls have been trash.
Great yearly content from Ian.
He's awesome to listen to. His articles are great. I mean, he is fantastic. Chill, bold call.
Bold call. I mean, on the main show, I did go with my boy Stroud. So we need a running back. Like, what is? I mean, I don't think. I mean, it's bold in terms of his ownership this week, but let's just say Raheem Mostert, high scoring RB on the slate.
He's not outscoring JT's. Chill, he's not.
Brother Raheem.
Because Raheem hasn't been enough times the RB1, so
he hasn't. He's kind of sucked this season.
Lightweight, yeah, only 11 touchdowns, no big deal. It sucks.
MBD.
Yeah, dude's trash. You know what? You mentioned Brother Raheem. I was gonna mention Brother Raheem, but you've already mentioned him. I was gonna mention Joe Burrow, but you've already mentioned Joe Burrow. So
we just taking all your fucking steam.
Right, all my steam is gone, but at least we're kind of on the same page when it comes to the boldness of tomorrow. Because again, this is a perfect slate to get kind of weird because 13 games, the ownership is very condensed on a few players, especially at the running back position. So I think I'm gonna stay right at the running back position, and I'll make 2 outside of Brother Raheem. I think if you don't play Brother Raheem, you can still play Ken Walker there to the tune of over 125 total yards and 2 touchdowns. So you can get away with playing some Ken Walker. And I think the Gus Bus makes 2 stops. Several on the first down marker, but 2 times in the back of that end zone. And he's going to piss off every single Lamar Jackson owner tomorrow. Goal line, 2 3-yard rushing touchdowns for the bus. That's my take, and I'm sticking to it. And if I were to do something even crazier, I say T. Higgins outscores Jamar Chase tomorrow.
It's bold.
I mean, he's too cheap.
I think they both kind of get there, though.
He's too cheap.
I'm not saying San Francisco's trash because they're not. They're great. But, I mean, Joey B off a bye, it's about to get ugly. I think it's about to get ugly. But that's just me. That's what we think. Gonna go ahead and I think it's time to go ahead and close up the shop. For Baker, Chill, we will see you all next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe on your way out. And as always,